up, everybody? I'm Ben from the Brain Trust, hanging out at Royale, Boston with Dominic Lally and Jeremy Salkin, Big Gigantic, who are about to play for a sold-out crowd. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So to start off, your most recent full-length release, Nocturnal, just dropped a few weeks ago for free. How did releasing that for free ultimately play into your guys' benefit?
You know, we've been doing that since day one, releasing our stuff for free, and we're just kind of keeping with that trend. I feel like it's always really helped us, get to where we are now. So we're just sort of keeping what we're doing and trying to keep, having our music available at every outlet.
Right on,
keep it on like we've been,
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sure that your fans appreciate that too. And so, your sound, you've sort of, been able to maintain your roots, but you've also sort of evolved towards a little bit more of a heavier sound. How do you think that your sound has progressed with the larger electronic music scene as a whole?
Well, a lot of stuff is getting heavier, a lot of the more popular stuff is getting heavier, and I think it's something we've always wanted to have, but in terms of just being, learning production and learning how to make stuff bigger, more bassy and heavier, we've never really been able to achieve that. So now, just getting to a certain level of production where you actually know how to really make the bass really rattle the room,
Yeah.
So it's more about just progression in terms of production and learning that stuff.
Right on. And so you guys are currently living in Boulder, Colorado, right?
Yep.
Right. So how the live electronic concept really sort of took off there a couple of years ago. And so how has living in that environment really fostered your development and your creativity?
I mean, there's definitely something special about Boulder. It just happened to be the space where him and I came together, and it all just kind of seemed to spawn around the same time. I mean, Boulder's a beautiful spot. There's a lot of inspiration to get from the mountains and the scenery and everything like that, but our whole concept just kind of came from us liking electronic music, but also wanting to play our instruments and somehow melding the two. And that was we would find inspiration in all this different music that was being made, and how can we incorporate that into what we're doing, yet stay somewhat true to what we were already playing.
And so, Dom, your skills on the saxophone really sort of make you an ideal performer to sit in with other performers,
For sure.
And so, you got to sit in with the Disco Biscuits and Humphreys McGee when you were performing in Mexico at Mayan Holidays. And so you guys just got announced to be on the Bonnaroo lineup. So if you could sit in with one act on the Bonnaroo lineup, who would it be?
That's tough, man. I'd have to look at it again because I know there's about at least 10 bands on there, but Radiohead, that'd be sick. Fish, that'd probably be pretty sick. There's some Medeski side projects going on in there.
Roots are on it.
Roots, yeah. It's gonna be epic, and we got a bunch of special plans, stuff we're gonna do specifically for that particular festival.
Sure.
And so it's gonna be a good one.
Awesome. And speaking of the saxophone, do you think that your ability to incorporate that instrument into the music has sort of made mainstream electronic music more accessible to a different kind of audience?
Yeah, I guess we've always kind of said just bridging the gap, because we're coming from the music place, but some of the other guys are coming from the electronic place, and we always kind of said, hey, if nothing else, we're bridging the gap, and at least getting it in there, together. So I hope so. It's all just music, and that's, if you can really get to why music makes everyone so happy, or why there's so many arguments about Skrillex, it fires up such a conversation and such a back and forth argument. I mean, that's how powerful music is.
Most definitely. Well, yeah, we're going to keep it short tonight. Congratulations on everything that you guys have been able to accomplish in the last couple years. Be sure that you get the new album Nocturnal at biggigantic.net or on iTunes or anywhere else for absolutely free.
Yeah.
And be sure to check out trustthebrain.com for more exclusive artist content and info. Let's go.
Oxygen,